Assalamu alaikum, this is Nabila Sigdatoma welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. HRW expresses satisfaction on charges against Sheikh Hasina and 28 others over allegation of enforced disappearances, secret detention and torture. Use of electronic government procurement (EGP) made mandatory for all types of government purchases. Only and foremost path to returning to democracy is election, says BNP Secretary General. MCQ-based written examination of 49 special BCS held. Divisional audition round of Nutun Kuri, BTV's popular talent hunt program, to end tomorrow. Israel approves first phase of Gaza deal leading to ceasefire and release of hostages. And Bangladesh chasing target of 228 runs set by New Zealand in ICC World Cup in Guwahati Stadium in India. Viewers, those were the headlines and moving on to the details. Human Rights Watch has expressed satisfaction over the formal filing of charges in court against oust Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 28 others on allegation of enforced disappearances, secret detention and torture. Soon after the International Crimes Tribunal issued arrest warrants against the accused, the New York-based human rights organization said in a report on Thursday that Bangladesh has taken a step forward on the path to justice. During the nearly 16-year rule of the fascist Awami League, human rights organization repeatedly accused the Hasina government of amputations, pulling out nails, electric shocks on rotating chairs as part of the torture inflicted on those who were forcibly disappeared for dissenting views. However, the Hasina regime consistently denied such allegations. After the historic mass uprising on August 5th, the interim government formed a commission on enforced disappearances which uncovered horrifying accounts. The investigation agency of the International Crimes Tribunal also included these gruesome details in its report. Recently, a formal charge was submitted to the International Crimes Tribunal for trial, naming Sheikh Hasina and 28 others as accused, following which the court issued arrest warrants. In a report written by Meenakshi Ganguly, HRW's Deputy Director for Asia, stated that authoritarian tendencies in Bangladesh intensified during Sheikh Hasina's tenure from 2009 to 2024. One of the key members of her government was Asaduzzaman Khan. The report also mentioned that in response to HRW's previous findings on extrajudicial killings, tortures and suppression of free speech, the then Awami League government generally denied these allegations or offered false assurances. From now on, the use of electronic government procurement (EGP) has been made mandatory for all types of government purchases. Besides, the existing 10% price limit for internal government purchases has been abolished. The regulation also mandates the disclosure of information on the actual beneficiaries of awarded contracts. In addition, it requires the preparation of a strategic plan for every government procurement. The new regulation was published as a gazette and came into effect on 28th of September this year by the Bangladesh Public Procurement Authority. Analysts have termed the new regulation in public procurement as a significant step forward. It will ensure competition and fairness in the government procurement process, they added. Analysts, however, stressed that strong political will is essential to curb corruption alongside digitalization. The only and foremost path to returning to democracy is election, said BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, adding that democracy cannot be restored until a free and fair election is held. He made this remark today at a memorial event organized at the Institution of Engineers Bangladesh (IEB) in the capital, marking the 34th martyrdom anniversary of Naziruddin Jihad, a martyr of the anti-autocracy movement of the 1990s. The event was presided over by BNP Chairperson Advisor Amanullah Aman, while Vice Chairman Shamsuz-Zaman Dudu, Asaduz-Zaman Ripon and Joint Secretary General Khairul Kabir Khokon, among other central BNP leaders, also addressed the occasion. The BNP Secretary General further said, BNP was born through reform and therefore the party is never against reform. The MCQ-based written examination for the recruitment of candidates under the 49th Special BCS was held today. The test began at 10 a.m. and continued till 12 p.m. A total of 3,12,000 job applicants applied to take part in the examination. From early morning, examinee crowded various schools and colleges across the capital where the exam centers were set up. Throughout this special BCS, a total of 683 positions will be filled in the general education cadre. Nutun Kuri, the popular talent hunt program of Bangladesh television, is now in its divisional selection phase after the completion of the first round. This phase will continue till tomorrow. From the divisional selection, a total of 960 contestants will qualify to participate in the final round. On the 7th day of the divisional selection, the television center became lively from early morning with the presence of enthusiastic participants, children, teenagers and their guardians. Launched in 1976, Nutun Kuri was the first reality-style talent hunt program in the Indian subcontinent, broadcasted on Bangladesh television. Many renowned artists have emerged from this platform. After a long hiatus, Nutun Kuri has returned once again with its original name, theme song, continuing its legacy of discovering new talents. Emeritus Professor of English Department of Dhaka University and eminent educationalist Syed Munzirul Islam today passed away while undergoing treatment at a hospital at the age of 74. He is survived by his wife, a son, students and host of well-wishers and admirers. Professor Islam was admitted to Labad Hospital on 3rd of October after suffering a massive heart attack. He was put on life support on Sunday evening after his condition became critical. His body will be brought to the Central Shahid Minar tomorrow around 11 a.m. and will be kept there till 1 p.m. to allow people to have a glimpse of him and pay tributes to the veterinarian, professor and novelist. His first namaz-e-janaza will be held after the Dhuhr prayers at Dhaka University Central Mosque. Later, his body will be taken to Mirpur Martyred Intellectuals Graveyard, where he will be laid to eternal rest following his second namaz-e-janaza. Now, international news. Israel has approved the first phase of a Gaza deal which will lead to a ceasefire and the release of hostages. The information was disclosed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office. The Israeli government ratification of the peace plan, which was confirmed in the early hours of this morning, paves way for fighting in Gaza to stop within 24 hours. The Israeli military will withdraw to a line that will leave it in control of about 53% of Gaza, while Hamas must release 20 living hostages within 72 hours. Israel will release about 250 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails and 1,700 detainees from Gaza. Khalil al-Hayya, the head of Hamas negotiating team, said the group has received guarantees from the US and mediators that an agreement on a first phase of the ceasefire agreement means the war in Gaza has ended completely. The United Nations said hundreds of aid lorries will also carry food, medicine and fuel to Gaza's 2 million people, most of whom have been displaced. US officials said it will move up to 200 troops to coordinate a multinational force that will monitor the ceasefire. Israel's attack on Gaza has killed at least 67,194 people and wounded 1,69,890 since October 2023. Renowned Bangladeshi photographer and human rights activist Shahidul Alam arrived in Istanbul of Turkey by Turkish Airlines flights today. Chief Advisor's press wing disclosed this information. It said Bangladesh Consul General in Istanbul, Mohammad Mizanur Rahman, received Shahidul Alam on his return from Israel. Earlier, the press wing said Shahidul Alam left Israel for Turkey by flight TK 6921. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus thanked Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan for his cooperation and securing his release and repatriation from Israel. The winner of this year's Nobel Peace Prize is Venezuelan democracy campaigner Maria Corina Machado. Machado, the oppositional leader in Venezuela, has largely been in hiding since last year's presidential elections. She is recognized for her tireless work in promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. The Nobel Committee chairman said Machado is one of the most extraordinary examples of civilian courage in Latin America in recent times. Venezuela's opposition has for many years been notoriously divided and driven by infighting. Leaders of different fractions have often spent more time attacking each other's strategies than attacking Nicolas Maduro, the man they are seeking to dispose from power. But Maria Corina Machado managed to unite those often bickering fractions behind her ahead of last year's presidential elections. Now, sports news. New Zealand's women's team put on 227 runs for 9, leaving Bangladesh to chase 228 for a victory in their third match in ICC Cricket World Cup in Guwahati Stadium in India. New Zealand, which opted to bat first, rode on 50s from skipper Sophie Denby and Brooke Halliday. Halliday top scored for the side with 69, while Devine added 63. Rabia was the pick of the bowlers with 3 for 30, while Nahid Akhtar and Fahima Khatun managed 1 each. That's all from the newsroom. To end the news, a recap of the headlines.